wish we were eating wings.
Did you pass by the car show?
We are drinking beers. No, I come from that way. Did you?
I like passed it a little bit, but I didn't see any like crazy cars.
It starts at 5, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, but there's
But
still
you would
probably...
think like the cars would be like set up.
That's true. There was just like normal cars.
What's your credit card information?
What's your credit card number, real quick? By the way,
since you're ordering shoes
forgot
right
to tell
now.
me last time. I've been trying to order these shoes all day, and I'm like, oh wait, I don't have my card.
New Balance.
It's literally these, but black.
Yeah. I just got Converse.
I'm like looking at your shoes.
You're trying to judge me right now.
Like, what you got out? Anyway, so we're winging it because you're a procrastinator.
So, let's talk about that. Are you a procrastinator?
Yeah.
Like a heavy procrastinator?
No. I was gonna say not as much as you, because from your other episode, I was like, "Damn, dude, like just get it done. Like it ain't that hard."
Right. So.
right.
So, when do you procrastinate like the most, or when do you
most?
remember procrastinating the most?
In school,
lot?
I procrastinated a lot, like writing papers because I hate writing papers,
Right.
and I suck at it, and it makes me angry.
Yeah.
School and like studying. Like lately, I've been studying on procrastinating on studying for my the license I'm trying to get.
Yeah.
I've been procrastinating on studying.
Why?
Because like it's so boring. It bores me, and so every time I start it, I'm just like, I need a break already.
Yeah.
I procrastinate on buying things for myself for some reason.
Me too. It's kind of annoying because I can't remember the last time I have bought myself like clothes, like a good amount of clothes.
You're just naked right now. Clothes? I have no clothes.
I just like hold on to clothes, like old clothes. Like these pants are like 10 years old.
Those were like high school Alexis pants?
Probably, or maybe high school graduate Alexis.
They still fit you?
Yeah.
Dude, that's so weird. You're like the same size.
A little bit. I'm just like fluctuating in certain parts of my body, I guess. But
some days you can wear them.
Yeah.
Some days you can't.
Yeah, a few weeks ago they were a little too tight.
I
think I loosened them out.
So they're from what? Forever 21?
No, they're Levi's.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Remember when Forever 21 was like...
Don't ever buy Forever 21 pants.
Store. I don't anymore because they're all closed down anyway. So.
Are they?
I mean, the one in Old Town, Pasadena is, and the one at the mall is, I think.
How sad. I haven't been to Old Town in a long time. Do you remember when we used to go to Old Town and we would go to Ixtapa?
Oh, yeah.
Every Friday?
I was like, what's Ixtapa? What clothing store is that?
Every Friday we were at Ixtapa.
We went like a handful of times.
We went probably about like 3 times. I remember being in there 3 times in my life.
Did we go with someone or is it just us?
No, I think we went with people. I don't think we just like decided to go to Ixtapa.
I feel like there was a time
I think there was just people we knew that wanted to go there, so we were like kind of down.
Dude, that was a weird time for us. You would talk to the security guard. You'd make friends with all the security guards.
Yeah, I love security guards.
And I remember at one point I was in the middle.
I'm still gonna do a security guard documentary.
Yeah, coming soon.
The point of the security guard is, or no, the point of the documentary of the security guard was, because the security guard sees everything that's going down,
and they're sober.
They're the sober ones
At
most of the time.
We think they're sober. They're supposed to be.
And I don't know. I don't even know what I used to bullshit about. I would just talk to them for a long time.
I don't know. Like
I'd just be outside.
If I couldn't find you, you were outside talking to the security guard. And then like, I just remember at Ixtapa, we'd be like, "Doesn't the music suck here?"
The music did suck.
And then he'd be like, "Yeah, like right here." And we're like, "'Cause we're just getting drunk." But like, I remember having a lot of fun at that place.
It was really fun.
Because everyone was stupid there.
I remember the equivalent to Ixtapa was, what's that place in Alhambra?
Oh. I don't remember.
Azul.
Oh, Azul, bro. It's not there anymore.
It's not? Oh, it's so sad.
It's something else. It's like a different club.
I used to go to Azul. I probably went there twice, 3 times, maybe 5, 8.
I never went.
I went there a good handful amount of times, and
lucky.
There was one time that some swingers came up to me and my friend, and
we're trying to swing things
with
y'all.
Swing. They're saying how attractive I was.
They're like, "Hello, come back, to our swing pad."
Where Will Smith was with his wife too.
Oh shit!
They wanted to swing.
He's gonna hear you and come sock you in the face. Yeah, I remember in high school, like, walking by Azul and being like, I can't wait to go there when I'm older. That was, like, my
There was
goal.
also this bar that had opened up. It was called 28 West.
I think it's still there. Yeah.
It was actually pretty chill, too, to be over there.
Honestly, Alhambra's got some cool bars and, like, I guess clubs. Yeah. Not really, but...
I think it's just bars. Like, bars more than clubs.
We should go.
To Alhambra?
Yeah. Make a field trip.
I don't know.
You're like, nah. It'd be cool because I never go there, you never go there, so it'd be, like, super different.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, anyway. What were we talking about?
Buying things, and I don't know why you brought up, because we're Forever 21, and then Old Town.
Oh, right. So, yeah, I haven't bought myself, like, some good clothes in a while.
Yeah, I procrastinated on buying things for myself. Like, it took me all day to buy these shoes. But it just takes me a while to make, like, a big purchase. I'm not impulsive when it comes to, like, spending and money. Yeah, I'm not impulsive.
I'm impulsive when I buy, like, things for the apartment. Like, I like home decor items.
You're like, I'll spend any amount.
Yeah.
Put it on the credit card.
And then what I do is I display it the way I like, and then I'm like, I don't like it. I'm returning it. And then
return everything.
I make a field trip out of returns.
That's fun. Yeah. You and my mom have that in common.
My mom as well. She loves returning things.
There's actually a few things that I don't hesitate to spend money on. Like when I go to the camera store and like I buy film or I'm picking up my film, any price they tell me, I don't even know what the prices are.
Just put it on the card.
I'm just like, here you go.
Do you have a credit card?
No, not anymore.
Why?
Because I have really good credit now, so I don't need a credit card.
That's interesting to hear.
Which part?
That you don't have a credit card and you're 30, 31.
I've had credit cards, and I used it to build my credit, and
you just decided to, like, chop them up, or what?
Yeah, I just stopped using it, and then... Yeah, I mean, I didn't have that many. I had one with my bank, and I had one at Target, and then I was spending way too much at Target. So I was like, no, stop this, and I just stopped using it. I had an Old Navy one real quick, too.
Okay. I was asking if you had a credit card because you don't look like you have a credit card. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess. I don't
you
look
just
like
don't look like you have a credit card.
Yeah. I don't think that's a compliment. I don't know why I don't feel
observation. I
don't feel good about that statement.
Jesse doesn't have a credit card, which is funny to me too. It's not like an insult. It's just like an observation of what people look like.
Does he have good credit? I mean,
he's working on his credit.
Then he should probably have a credit card to start.
Yeah. You know. Well, his reasoning is kind of similar to yours, but opposite in a way, because like he doesn't have a credit card for the reasons that he might fuck up his credit even more.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, no, I don't have a credit card, dude. Those things are scary.
Yeah. My credit card balance is like, I don't even know. I'm not even gonna say it.
So you're a credit carder?
Well, the thing is, I'll have my credit card balances, and I like pay them off. Like I'll put like $200 on the balance, and like I just pay them off, and I don't do like minimum payment shit. So I have a really good credit.
You paid off your car, right? Okay, I'd probably have credit cards too if I paid off my card, because I feel like I already have like a certain amount of debt.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So I'm like, why do I need to add?
Because you're focusing on paying off your car.
Right? I mean, I do the minimum payments.
Oh.
But I was just like, why do I need credit cards? Like, I already like have this certain amount of debt. Like, if I'm gonna buy something, it's because I have the money to buy it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you should put a little more on your payments for your car.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that the other day. I was like, I should do that.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. The way I saw it all, when I was paying off my car was I saw like a game or like a contest. I like set a goal. I was like, I'm gonna pay it off in like 2.5 years, something like that.
From when you got it?
Yeah. And
how long were you supposed to pay it off?
5 years.
Okay, so you did like half.
Yeah.
That's really good.
But I had 5 years because I wanted to just be like okay and not be like stressing out. But yeah, so I set it like in my head as like a kind of a game. So I just like did these huge like payments whenever I had to pay my car. Sometimes I would pay double.
Okay. The most you would pay is double?
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause like how I owed like I think it was like $280 a month for 5 years and
yeah.
Yeah, I ended up doing it fast and
okay.
Just like kind of got that over with.
Yeah, so. That's a good mentality to set. I think I want to do double too cuz like I can. Yeah. And it's like stupid that I'm not.
You should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cuz I'm like putting it in my savings. I'm like, but I could just put it like towards my car.
Towards your debt.
Because then you'll have less interest, like, overall.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way I saw it. I was like, I don't want to pay interest. I fucking hate that.
Yeah. And I just want to be done with, like, paying it. And, like, it'll be worth more the faster I pay it off, I guess.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think that's good advice. Because when you're in that mentality, you're in a waste mentality. Yeah. You're just, like, not only wasting your money, you're just, like, wasting everything. Time, your resources. Like you're having to go to the store more to buy more toothpaste.
That's true.
In that example, you know, you're wasting more gas. You're wasting your time.
I feel like the more stuff you buy, like materialistically, like the more that you want to buy. Because I'll go shopping and then I'm like, oh, like I wonder what else that store has, or like online that website has, and it's like we just have to get what we need, right? You know? But, like, obviously, like, we're not like that as, like, Americans or society and stuff, so.
Yeah, we're, like, a consumer-based society. Yeah. It's about, like, also showing what you have, too. I think, like.
For sure.
It's about, like, tricking people into thinking that you have more than them, or, like, your life is better than them.
By the things you have.
By the things that you have. Yeah. And that's why, like, I've never been about like brand purses or like brand things like that. Because I don't see the point, and if somebody thinks I'm poor, well, I am. So
I am.
Good.
So
congratulations.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
Figured it out. If you have, I don't really care, you know.
It's funny because I was at the mall with one of my friends, and her boyfriend, he makes a lot of money, and I guess he's like really cheap. And I could tell because his shoes are, like, always messed up, dirty. And he wears the same shoes every time I see him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how does this guy make so much money? But he's always wearing the same-ass old pair of shoes, you know?
Yeah.
And same-ass clothes, too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, maybe that's why. Because he has a lot of money, and he's, like, trying to keep it.
Yeah.
And then we went to the mall, and I was buying a pair of shorts for, like, $40. And he was like, $40? He's like, you're gonna buy those? And I was like, yeah, like, that's pretty much how much the shorts are that I buy, like, from Cotton On, like nice shorts, you know? Mm-hmm. He's like, you can go to Kohl's and get those for, like, $10.
Kohl's.
And I was like, dude, I ain't never been to Kohl's, like...
I've never really shopped at Kohl's. I've been there to return stuff for Amazon.
I feel like I should have been to Kohl's. Like, why haven't I?
But I just don't go to Kohl's that often, and I don't think it's that cheap, if I'm being honest.
I'm not too good for Kohl's. Okay, and it's not that cheap, so...
Yeah.
I guess they do have some deals, though.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because my grandma goes there, and she's very cheap or frugal.
So they must have a few things. But I know they have, like, name brand stuff. But it was funny that he said that, because I'm like, dude, like, you literally make the most money here, and you're the one telling me
It's like the smart people though that
Yeah,
like
he's really smart.
like that are frugal and they don't care about what other people think of them, so they don't like kind of fall
Very
into
smart.
that like peer pressure or like the feeling to need to impress people
Right,
around
right.
them because they're already like okay with themselves.
Yeah, he's a really cool dude. And like he's an engineer and every time we're like out spending money, he'll like do all the math and like try to find like the cheapest way.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, damn, dude, you're
For me,
cool.
like I try to like weigh things out. If I'm gonna spend money on something, it's gonna be like good quality stuff. It's gonna be stuff that's gonna last me a long time.
Long time.
Like, you know, like for example, like when Levi's used to be good quality, like I would spend good money to get like Levi's because I knew they were gonna last me a long time.
True.
Versus like a pair of Forever 21 pants that would last maybe a year or two. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just an example.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like, you know, you're investing in a way in the stuff that you buy too.
Yeah.
So when I see that, like I see it as an investment, versus like looking at just like the brand of it. If that makes sense.
I mean, I think the brands that are expensive, they probably do last a lot longer.
Yeah, and I do believe or imagine that, but I think certain things like it's unnecessary. Like,
oh yeah,
you know, for like glasses and stuff, I feel like oh fuck, goddamn Weasley twins.
Weasley. You're good. Dude, they heard you. They heard you say that.
they're like we've been called that before.
That was good.
I don't even remember what I was saying.
I don't either.
God damn it.
I really don't remember. That startled me.
I'll just take it out.
No, you shouldn't. Shit was funny because you're like, ah. But you know what I was gonna say? I was gonna say I think like our mindset around like money and stuff comes a lot from like our parents.
Yeah, that's for sure. My mom didn't have a lot, so she's always been like really frugal and cheap. And even till this day, like I'm just like, Mom, like you should get some like new fucking plates. Like, god damn it, you've had the same plates for years.
Some new fucking plates, Mom. You have paper plates.
Like your plates at this point don't even match, and like that's like bothering my OCD.
That's hilarious. My mom didn't have a lot growing up, but she made it a point to have a lot at some point, which my mom and dad did. And then growing up, my mom like spoiled me.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that. Like I feel like we had a lot of money, but then like we didn't. Like really, but like my mom pretended we did. Like I felt like we did.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think my dad had similar mentality where like it felt like we had a lot, or you know, when I was a little kid, I thought I was rich. I thought I was rich. I thought I had everything, and I, you know, as a kid, I was. I would say I was like a privileged kid. I wouldn't say we were actually rich, but I thought I was.
Yeah.
That's cool. And my dad, he's very ghetto fabulous, where he wants to show people that he has stuff, but in reality, like he doesn't.
He doesn't. That's
or like you know, right now he's doing okay. My parents are doing fine. It's just like I don't think it's like necessary to be like showy, you know?
Yeah.
When you're not in like this high income level of, you know, your income, I guess.
Yeah.
So I just don't see the point in that. I think it's kind of unnecessary for people to live outside of their means.
Yeah, you're practical. You're not like materialistic. You're looking at it like, do I really need this? Like, I'm not gonna waste money or whatever.
Yeah.
I think I'm the same way.
It just doesn't make sense.
Except when it comes to like going out, I used to just spend all my money like on drinks. Not anymore.
Yeah. For me, like I think I've always budgeted a lot, even in my 20s. Like I always made sure I had my savings, and I always made sure like I had money in my checking.
You always been a saver.
Yeah. So I've been good at saving. I also see saving as like a game to me. So I set a certain limit, like, in my head of how much I need to save a month. And I think that also has to do, like, these games that I make up have something to do with probably my OCD.
I didn't know you had OCD that bad.
It's not that bad.
Sounds pretty bad. You keep bringing... No, I'm just kidding.
I just, like, I need to have things, like, set at, like...
What if you don't?
Like, I like the numbers 0 and 5 when it comes to money. So when it comes to, like, saving, it's going to be like, okay, well, I'm going to save 500 from this paycheck. And then the next one will be 500. So that way it'll be like 1,000 that month or something. Mm-hmm. And, like, in my head, it just, like, sounds right because it ends in, like, 0.
Gotcha. But what if it's not, like, what if you don't save that much? Are you, like, freaking out?
No, like, I have to.
That's what I'm trying to say.
So, like, it doesn't ever happen where I, like, can't do that sometimes. Like, I set an amount, like, a specific amount that I have to consistently save every paycheck.
What if an emergency comes up?
So in those cases, then that's when, like, yeah, I'll have to, like, be like, okay. Just in smaller examples, I'll be like, okay, $25 from this paycheck and, you know, $25 from next paycheck.
Are you freaking out though, or you're just like chill
no? Because like, for me, in my head, as long as it ends in like a 0 or 5, like I'm just like, okay, and then I'll have to like make it up the following month or next month.
You're like really determined with that. That's
I just like
interesting.
I've never wanted to not have money. I've never wanted to ever like ask people for money, and I'm not saying that's never gonna happen in my future, and I hope it doesn't, but like I've never wanted to be put in those situations. Yeah. So like I just like try the best that I can to not be in those situations.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, so like, and I think that like my mom probably taught me that, even though like, you know, she had a difficult time with like her finances too. Like, she's always been really responsible, so she taught me how to be financially responsible.
I feel like my sister taught me how to be financially responsible. She helped me fix my credit. Like, she helped me do all these things like about money. Before that, I was just like, oh, I have money, I'm gonna spend it. Like, yeah, that's what it's for.
And I think it's important for people our age to like not only have a savings, and it's sad. I don't know. There was like a statistic of how much savings people have, and it's not a lot. It's literally like,
you have a lot.
Shut the hell up.
You do.
Don't be putting me on blast.
Just, hey y'all, if you need a loan,
shut up.
Oh my gosh.
I just feel like it's sad that people our age have come to this realization that they're not going to buy a house in their future. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's something we should be accepting.
True.
I think that's still, like, I think that's a pessimistic outlook on life. And if you're already settling and accepting that, I don't know. I think there's something going on with you.
Something's not right.
Because whether you strive to get a house here in California, LA, yeah, or a different state, it's still possible.
Yeah, Arizona.
So don't be, Arizona or like fucking, I don't know, Montana.
Montana. Anywhere super hot, anywhere you don't want to live.
I think it's still a goal that people should have. Like,
yeah, for sure.
It is. Like, you know, who's to say that you can't buy property in a different state and then move over here and then have someone in Montana paying for that fucking house?
That's so true.
You know, like, and you can still be living here. Like, yeah, there are so many ways around this. Like, don't just like settle and accept that you're not going to buy a house. I don't know if I'm going to do that.
You're going to buy a house in Montana?
Maybe.
You can Airbnb it.
I don't know.
Now. Buy it now.
You're like, do it.
Right now on your phone. The market's low. No, I don't even know.
I just think that, like, yeah, I think you shouldn't be accepting that you're not going to buy a fucking house. You should still try to buy that fucking house.
So what do you suggest someone does if they're in that mentality?
I don't know. to be honest. I don't know how to get people out of that mentality. I think right now what we're sharing, or like our advice or tips or experience, like I think it's to like, it should help people like wake up or think about it at least.
Woke.
I don't know if I can really like get someone out of their like fabulous mindset, but like,
what would you do if you were if you had that mindset?
It's just really hard to say though, because I have a different mindset, and some people, I understand why you want to show people that you have things, because you don't want people to think of you as like poor or like you haven't done anything with your life. And I get why people do that. I just think that has a lot more to do with your self-esteem than it really has to do with like what you have or like what you're doing in your life.
So basically fix your self-esteem.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of inner work, and that's why like, I really don't care if I'm like showing, my old shoes and shit, because it really doesn't matter to me like if people see me as poor. If you see me as poor, it's fine. I don't care.
That's also, I think, the reason why it was hard for me to buy the shoes, because I'm like, am I buying it for the right reasons? Like, sometimes I do want to buy things because I'm like, oh, like, I don't want people to think I'm a bum, you know? But, like, I mean, that's valid, too, but at the same time, I'm like, do I really want them? Like, it'll make me feel good, too, like, knowing, and, like, so, yeah, just making sure you're buying things for the right reasons.
Yeah. And, like, I think until probably last year or this year, I started, like, coming around and, like, throwing old things out that should have been donated or something.
Yeah.
Or even just thrown away, because I had so many pairs of underwear that were just like, they were my period underwear, to be fair, but like I had so many pairs of period underwear that were just like, not in good shape, and I would wear them when I was on my period, like just to like kind of be able to be like, okay, I'm gonna throw them away.
They're all bloody.
Real stained. Gross. But still, like,
you were holding on.
I was holding on to them, and I'm like, why? Like, I need to throw these fucking things away. So I came around to doing that, and it's like, it's kind of like a cleansing thing too, because the same thing was happening with my bras. I saw like some of them were like going out of shape, and bras? I would wear no, I would just like wear like ugly bras to like work out or something, or things like that. And I was like, I don't know why I'm holding on to these. Like,
that's weird.
You know? So that's why I'm just like saying, like, I do have a hard time buying things for myself, as far as like clothes and things like that.
Because you feel like you still have a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you should go through your things, because I've seen your closet a while back and you have a lot of shit.
Yeah, I'm still going.
And then why are you gonna buy more things if you already have a bunch of stuff? Like, that's just not good.
Yeah.
It's not cool.
I think also just to like update maybe like my style, but even then I guess I don't really have much of a style.
Yeah, I don't know what this outfit you're doing right now.
Shut up. I'm pretty casual.
It's like a greaser librarian.
I am a greaser.
Is that American Apparel?
My bomber jacket? Yeah. It is.
It looks American Apparel.
Rest in peace, American Apparel.
Vintage.
Yeah.
Did you thrift that?
No, I bought this.
Oh, because I saw that jacket
years ago
at a thrift store recently.
I've had this jacket for like 10 years too.
Yeah, I mean, if it's from American Apparel,
it's
old as shit.
Yeah, so I think, I don't know, do you have any other like advice or tips that you've learned along the way?
As far as like saving money?
Saving, or like, how did you fix your credit? Like,
oh yeah, so the way I fixed my credit was, my credit was so bad that I had to ask my bank to get me like a certain type of credit card. It's called something like a security card. It's like a tester credit card, but you basically put your own money in it, and then it acts like a credit card when you use it.
Okay.
And you have to do the payments, and then that gets you started to show the bank like, oh, I'm able to like pay this off, see? But you're not like a risk because it was your own money anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that for like a year, and I just used it on gas. after that,
what bank did you have that allowed you to do this?
A credit union.
Okay. Do only credit unions do this, or big banks too?
I'm not sure. I feel like big banks should be able to, or they probably just give you a regular credit card, honestly, even with bad credit.
Yeah, they probably do.
If you have bad credit, I suggest you get a credit card and just use it on one thing, and then make sure you pay that every single month, and then it takes a while. It took me a year to build it up.
Yeah.
Like to even like 50 points more, which is good, I think. Like 50 to 100 points, and then after that, I just started getting like Target credit card, and I'll just make sure I paid it off, and like just make sure you pay it off, and just don't get a credit card for like no reason. Just get it because you're trying to build your credit.
Yeah. Target credit cards and store credit cards are usually easier to get approved for, right?
I think so, yeah. Target was really easy. And then you get like a discount using it too. So
yeah, I still have a Target credit card.
But that's how I built my credit, and I think it's pretty good having good credit because you get like a low interest rate. Like I have super low interest on my car. That's pretty much it. I mean,
I know, and supposedly like it'll be better when you buy a house, but like we're never gonna buy a house, so
right. It doesn't matter. Like, what's the point of even thinking that?
I was just kidding.
That's a whole other thing. Yeah, I guess that's what I did, and then like I don't save as much as you, but I definitely like have money in my savings. I could save more, so I don't know. I'm still like trying to figure out what my mentality is with money, but
yeah.
I know when I'm like thinking in my head like I don't have any money, like don't spend any money, like I won't.
Yeah. And I think that's important to always have. Like going back to like my procrastination habits from last week, I was saying that like I write lists, and I like I set due dates that are ahead of the actual due date. I also have my clocks like 15-20 minutes ahead. And I kind of think I'm like that with money too.
Like thinking ahead.
I'm just thinking like I just in my head I'm like I have no money. Like don't spend money. Or like I like set up a whole map of like how I'm gonna spend money the year, even if I actually don't follow the way I planned. At least I set something up to have an idea to stay on some type of track. So that's how I do that.
Interesting.
And
it's been working out pretty good.
It works out okay. It's not exactly how I planned, but I don't know. I don't know how else to make money.
You know, like, what bothers me about that mindset, because I've had a friend who was always like, I don't have money, I'm broke. And, like, always, like, anything we're gonna do, well, how much is it? And it's, like, so freaking annoying, because it's, like, you have money.
Yeah.
Like, we all have money. Like, don't be such a, like, I don't like the poor mindset, because that's just, like, sad. You know? Like, live your life. Like, don't act like you're poor. Like, you're not.
Yeah, like, and I think I understand what you're saying. I think it's important to have a balance. To be able to like enjoy your life.
Yeah, exactly.
And then also still kind of have a poor mindset. And I think
when it's
what you're pointing out is important, because my mom kind of lives like that. She like stays in that mindset, and she does have money.
Yeah.
And for me, I think when I first moved out, like I stayed in that mindset because that's all I knew. And I don't know, like I think up until probably last year too, I've just like come to terms with like this makes me happy, and like I deserve this.
You're allowed to spend money.
Yeah. I really like this nice comforter. Like, I really want to spend a good amount of money on it. It's going to make me happy.
Yeah.
Or, like, things like that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, when I buy stuff, like, I'll invest in it because I know it's, like, of good quality, or it's going to last me a long time. And it's going to make me happy.
Yeah. Because, like, I do think that, like, poor mindset can be toxic, because I feel like when you do spend and you have that mindset, like you'll freaking splurge.
Yeah.
And then you're back to that original mindset, but even worse.
Yeah.
And I feel like then you like feel bad about spending.
True.
Like, do you know how many people probably feel bad about spending money on things when, like, it's totally fine, you know?
Like, you work for that money.
Yeah, like, obviously don't spend, like, all your money on it, but, like, yeah, like you said, have a balance and don't freaking splurge, because once you're splurging and then you're like, oh shit, now I'm not going to spend money on anything. Like, like this friend would never want to go out, could never buy drinks, can never do anything. I'm like, you're literally not letting yourself live your life because you splurged on like an iPad that you didn't need.
Yeah.
Like shit you didn't need, and like look at you now. So like I don't want to be in that mindset. Whenever I catch myself like that, I'm like, no. Like I hate saying I'm broke, because I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can feel broke or whatever, but, like, don't say you're broke. Just be like, oh, I'm, like, not trying to spend a lot right now. I'm, like, kind of saving right now or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, just get one drink, you know? Like, don't freaking...
I think a lot of this conversation has a lot to do with, like, self-control.
That's true.
I think a lot of, like, your financial habits and spending, like, I think a lot of it has to do with your self-control. Yeah. So... I don't know. I think some people are good at like controlling their finances, but maybe they're not like good at controlling something else in their life. Or maybe people are just like super crazy with being control freaks, and
there's some freaking control freaks out there,
and they can do it all.
I am not one of those. But like I also watch what I spend money on, unless it's like a camera that I don't need. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, I think self-control is important. Like, I think it's important what you're saying, like, are you buying this purchase for the right reasons? Like, do you need this? Mm-hmm. Even if you don't need it, like, do you deserve it? Like, and that's not to say that you deserve everything, because you don't. I think it's kind of toxic to be in that mentality where you're like, well, I deserve everything. We all do, but
I deserve this.
But have some fucking self-control.
I deserve a new tattoo. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I've been deserving a tattoo.
Our old ass tattoo.
It's just about like that control and like trying to have a balance of that, you know, like treat yourself, but not too much. Yeah. Not too crazy.
Even if you do have a lot of money, like you probably shouldn't anyway, because then you're just buying shit for like no reason, just trying to get that dopamine hit. Like, because you know when you buy something nice and new, like you get excited. Yeah. Like that's like kind of like a dopamine, like a good feeling. Yeah. And like people just buy, and then it's like to the point where they are like desensitized to that feeling, because they're just like buying stuff all the time. That's why like people who are super rich, like they can go on a million vacations, they could buy all these nice cars, but are they happy? No, because they can get anything they want. Yeah. Compared to someone who's like so poor and like lives
a humble life.
Lives a humble life, and then they get like, I don't know, they get taken out to a nice restaurant, like that'll make their week probably. Like something so little as that. Or like they buy, like, you know, little kids who are grateful, who don't get a lot. Yeah. Like those kids are the best, because they're like so excited.
They're like happy with everything they have. Yeah. Like they got,
And like that's even how it is like being an adult. Like people who have so much money, like nothing's gonna make them happy.
That's true.
Like what makes them happy? Like maybe their goals will. So that's why it's kind of like sad when people are born into that life, because it's like, how are you gonna find happiness when you're given everything?
True. Like there was no struggle. There was no like
no struggle, dude.
For like what you have.
And like even though they've probably done so much, like seen the world, been on vacations, it's like, what good is that doing when you're just like used to that life?
Yeah, that's true.
Like maybe if they can find a purpose in it, you know, like like they're trying to help people in those communities, or they're studying for school or something. But like if you're not having a struggle when you're given so much, like I just don't see the joy in that.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I think I feel bad for them. I'm just kidding. No, I don't.
I mean, yeah, I don't really feel bad, but like I just feel like even they probably don't know like that
that
they're struggling to find happiness.
Yeah, like what happiness is really for them.
And that's why they probably like famous people when they get really rich, or people who get win the lottery, like they get into like a deep depression and
yeah,
they need
or they
so much
become
help.
like drug addicts or something. They find a substance.
Yep, they need to find something to like give them that high, because everything they're buying, like they can get anything they want, so they're not gonna get any joy from that.
Yeah, that's why it's important to not make all of it about money. I think it's important to like find yourself when you're having this journey of, you know, being a successful person. That's why it's important to have that balance, because you should treat yourself but also save for your future, and also like take care of yourself along that way, you know, be like kind to yourself.
Yeah. But kind of going back to the people that, have it all, have all the money or whatever. Like, have you ever had that thought, like, oh, I wish I didn't have to work anymore, but like,
hell
I
yeah,
still had
that's
money.
every fucking day of my life. I don't want to work.
But like, can you imagine if you didn't have to work? Like, what would you do all day?
I hated it.
Yeah.
I got laid off during the pandemic and I fucking hated it.
Right.
The first week I was drinking a lot just because I was having a good time. I was like, "Yay, I'm nice. on summer vacation." And like everyone is too, like all stupid.
That was everyone during COVID.
The first week or two, I think I was doing that and just like having a good time. Hiking and like, you know, just doing shit.
Yeah.
And then after that second week, I was like, all right, now for real, I need to get a job. I need money.
For real.
Like, I don't care about unemployment benefits. It doesn't make me happy. I need a purpose.
Right.
Because I feel like a lowlife and my self-esteem is pretty shot. And like, I need to do something.
Yeah. Like, for people who are like millionaires and they don't have to work anymore, and like say they're like fairly still young, like I do kind of feel bad for them, because they probably don't have a purpose. They're probably like depressed every day, and they're like, I need to find something to do, like something that's gonna motivate me, excite me.
Yeah, unless you find like a passion or like a cause that you really care about, I think that's probably important.
But even still, I think we still have to do things almost not every day, but pretty often, that we don't like.
Yeah.
Because if we're doing things all the time that are fun and easy, it's like, well, that's going to run out eventually, and it's just going to be normalized.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And that's why like we know when like we're happy, because we've experienced sadness and we've experienced hardship.
The contrast.
Yeah, so it's like you understand what happiness is because you know what it's like when it's not like that.
That's why like when we have our days off or whatever, like hopefully we enjoy it, because we know like, hey, I've been working all week, like this is nice, like I don't have to do anything, or I could go and do this or whatever. But like if your life was like that every day, you're not gonna have that thought. I mean, you might, some people might actually, but not I don't think it would be like long lasting.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand what you're saying about like people that have money or just like didn't work for things. I don't know. I think it's important like in this journey of like being in a capitalistic society to still like be grounded, know who you are, care about yourself and love yourself, but also plan for your future and try to like balance all these fucking things that we have to balance every fucking day.
And that's it. Just do that.
Just do that and you'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be really happy.
It's that easy.
No, there's definitely still days
fucking hard
where you're just like, I don't know why, but I feel like shit. Like today I felt like shit, and I was like, I have no reason to, but I'm just gonna feel like shit.
I mean, and I think it's important to allow yourself to feel like shit too.
Yeah, I'm just like drained.
Because there are some people that like they're sad and then they try to escape from it by, I don't know, going to someone else to make them feel better, or like doing drugs, or like drinking alcohol or something,
or just saying like I'm fine when they're not. I think it is okay to go to your friend and talk about it,
but just like let yourself be sad. Like fucking
definitely.
Just like feel that feeling and kind of like don't let it like be a part of you. Like it's just something you're experiencing.
Yeah, it's not gonna be there forever.
Like your personality or who you are.
Yeah,
It's just something that we feel every once in a while.
That's a good reminder, because emotions, like, they're kind of unpredictable. I mean, like, I feel like they do happen for a reason, but just let it come and then let it go.
Yeah. As far as like depression, because I've had experience with like depression. I was really depressed when I was like sick, and I couldn't get myself out of like this funk. I felt like sorry for myself all the time, and I just felt like in a really dark headspace.
Yeah.
And I'm really like a proactive person, so I tried to like do all these things before I, eventually was like, all right, I need to get my therapist back. So I contacted my therapist, and I started that journey again with them, and then I started to be like more consistent, and I think that's why last year it was important for me to like be consistent at least half of the year.
With therapy?
With therapy and just like things in life, because I think that's what I realized I was like falling short on.
Not having consistency.
Yeah. And so being consistent, I even told myself I have to do yoga all the time now. I have to like be on this mission to like fix my breathing and work on my health.
Yeah.
So that was, I did do that like last year, and so I think that kind of helped me get out of like this funk that I was in at the beginning of last year.
And it started when you were sick, and it just stayed, or
yeah, like I got sick 2021 at the end of that year, and I was just like in a really dark headspace, and I just like couldn't get out. And usually in the winter, like I start to actually feel depressed because I think I might have like seasonal depression or something, or maybe I'm just self-diagnosing myself.
Yeah, you've always hated the rain. So.
Yeah, I just don't like when it's like gloomy and dark. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
But I tend to feel like I have to use more energy to like get myself up or like get myself through a day when it's darker.
It's not as easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet a lot of people, I'm sure, do have it, or some people love gloomy weather, but you definitely need like the sun, and that makes it easier to go out and like be productive or whatever.
Yeah. So I think just like picking yourself up is also
the hard thing
to do.
But like at least you felt it, and like by feeling that like depressive state, you were like, okay, like what's wrong? Like I need to do therapy again, and like that helped you a lot. And like, what did your therapist kind of tell you?
That guy's flashlight's on his phone. It's funny. Like when people have their flashlights on and they don't know. It's like, okay,
when
boomer.
They take a picture, it's like big ass flash.
I don't know what my therapist told me.
Just listened.
Yeah, they're just listening to my bullshit.
That made you feel better.
Yeah, it did.
Therapy's awesome. I'm not seeing a therapist right now, but I do have someone I talk to, my coach.
Yeah.
And I always feel a lot better because I'll tell him things that like you need to have someone to talk to that you won't really tell people, like everyday people.
Yeah,
obviously.
That's true.
Like those thoughts that you really don't like to tell people.
Yeah, I would tell my therapist that shit.
Tell your therapist, and then they're like, "You're freaking crazy."
You're like, "This bitch is nuts."
Yeah. Prescribing medication. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I've never been. I mean, when I was having breathing problems, they're like, "Well, do you want anxiety medication?" I was like, "No,
what
I don't.
Heck
don't just jump to my
That's
anxiety."
Crazy.
And I was like, "Don't like. I'm not doing that." And they're like, "Okay." I was like, "It's not my anxiety. I can't breathe, so I have fucking anxiety because I can't breathe, not the other way around."
Yeah.
Like, don't get it twisted,
dude. That's so messed up. They trying to give meds to everybody because the pharmaceutical company is rich.
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
So, anywho, I was also gonna mention just like a financial tip because it's tax season. There's this thing that I learned about. So if you're getting a big amount of money on your tax refund, you should probably adjust like how much you're getting on your paycheck, because typically a lot of people's bad habit is, oh, I have this big refund, I'm just gonna blow it all, because you have it all at once. And I think I see a lot of people that do that, and they just like kind of carelessly spend their tax refund check.
Oh, so you think they should save it in each paycheck?
Yeah, so I think instead of doing that all at once, like getting your refund in a big chunk, I think you should just get that in your paycheck. And that it was like a financial advisor video clip that I saw. They're saying like instead of like getting that big sum at the end of tax season, like you should get it in your paycheck instead.
Yeah.
And use that money to like invest.
Yeah.
Invest in like whatever stocks.
Or they could invest the big amount, but I feel like that would be harder to do.
Yeah, I think just because a lot of people have that like mindset where like, oh, I have all this money now, I can just spend it on whatever I feel like. I mean, yeah, you can, but I just like that was a financial tip. So
that's a real one,
because I know it's hard for people to control themselves when they have large amounts of money.
Yeah, I didn't get that big of a refund, so I didn't even consider.
Yeah, well, if you do.
Yeah. Like, I remember financial aid, when people were getting checks for financial aid. I remember, like, some of my classmates are like, I'm getting this huge-ass tattoo. And I'm like, you're literally so stupid. I saved all my financial aid checks, and I used it in emergencies.
I didn't really get much financial aid because, fuck.
Yeah,
everyone and everything.
Yeah,
but whenever I did get like small amounts, I would save those checks, and I eventually saved it and used it towards like my first car that I bought, and that's what I did with that. But yeah, I remember people doing that shit too. Like, I'm gonna get this tattoo.
Yeah,
I'm gonna like buy this
stupid,
like crazy ass, I don't know, equipment that they don't need.
Oh, equipment, yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah. So
I got a lawyer.
Good for you.
Came through for my DUI.
Oh.
That's what I spent the money on.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about? Did you
I
just get
have
a lawyer,
like, all the time, just in case. No, I remember that's what I used the money on, because I had like a certain amount like that I can use for emergency, and then like the lawyer told me the price. I was like, well, I have it for emergencies, and this is kind of an emergency.
Yeah, it is.
That was like my whole DUI, actually, like a big chunk of my savings. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, at least you had it versus like going into debt.
Yeah, if I didn't have it, I don't know what would have happened. I'd still be in jail. No, I'm just kidding. I'd be like,
I'd have to send you money.
Doing push-ups, yeah.
Be like, jail. Can you send me a cup of noodles?
I'll sell them.
Anywho, I think we should probably end it here.
Sounds good.
Since we're drying out.
Yeah, we are. We're fading.
Do you have any tips or suggestions for the next episode?
Well, I want to do the interview.
Yeah, we really need to do an interview. I feel like we need to get started on those, and I've been kind of like,
I really want to
get on those
on my sister, because every time I talk to her,
yeah, let's talk about
it's always like this huge like epiphany. Like just the other day, she called me. I don't know like what she originally called me for, but she's like, like she was saying, like, when you're trying something new, it's so hard for you to do something new and out of your element because you're not getting validation. And she was saying that, like, when she first started beauty school, like, for hair, like, no one was rooting for her. Like, everyone was basically rooting against her. And I was like, I never thought about that. I'm like, how did you do that? How did you go to school? And like she planned a year in advance to go because she had a baby, so she had to figure out like what she's gonna do with him, blah blah blah. Yeah. And so she had it all planned and set, and like everyone was like, okay, good luck. She was gonna quit her job that she was at, and everyone basically thought she was gonna fail or didn't believe in her.
Yeah, I think she'd be an important person to interview because you always talk about her, and like she always has like advice and things that she's I feel like she's experienced a lot of like struggle, and like she's very like self-made. Yes. So I think she has a lot of advice
Definitely.
Or tips to give people
she has a lot.
Are like trying to figure this shit out.
It's basically endless. Like, she's literally a person that when she says she's gonna do something, she'll do it.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of people like that. And it's like, why are you like that? And then she also told me that, like, she's been in fight or flight her whole life.
Yeah.
That is why she did all those things. But now that she's okay, she had to figure out, like, realize, oh, I don't need to be in survival mode anymore.
Yeah.
Like, let me freaking enjoy my life. So, like, she's still learning. And I just think that's so cool because, like, even though you've hit a certain point, like, you still learn so much more about yourself.
Yeah. And I think that's important to share, like, stories like that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people want to talk about their success, but they don't, like, talk enough about, like, the struggle and, like,
how they got there.
And or a lot of people want to show their success and just, like, show off, like, how easy it was, but not enough people, like, talk about how hard it is. And,
it's, like, a better story when it wasn't
how
easy.
Like, it is common that nobody supports you when you're starting out anything. And everybody's against you, really. So I mean, I feel like that's super relatable to a lot of people's experience. But yeah, I want to have her on too. I don't know if I want to do Zoom.
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out.
Figure this out. But anyway, so we're going to start our interviews. And I'm going to say that because that makes it more like we have to get started on interviewing people. Yep. I think it's important to hear about people's experiences.
Yeah, people are probably tired of listening to us.
I know. What do we know?
We don't know shit. What do you even... We're in a parking lot. I'm just kidding.
I know. Your laugh is a little crazy right now. You're all dying.
I'm like,
can you calm down?
Dude, I'm just having a good time.
Okay, so we'll end it here. And yes, we're starting interviews. So get ready.